Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be kind of doing a deep dive on United States geography, kind of taking a step away from the outdoors and kind of doing something that's back inside. It's a foggy, rainy day out, so this is a good time to do this. So what I have to help with US geography, I have this wooden puzzle map. There's not quite 50 pieces because some of the states are combined into one piece, but they all have the 50 states of the United States on them, and they all have a little bit of an illustration on them to kind of help you understand what each state is well known for. So it might look a little kiddish, but I've had this puzzle map for, a long time, and it was something that really helped me when I was younger kind of learn about the states in my country and about the geography of my country as well, here in the United States. So the pieces also are, as I said, are made out of wood, so they're going to make some nice sounds. And I have kind of a wooden table here, so it should make good sounds with that as well. To my left, I have all of the pieces off camera, off screen, and to make this a little bit more difficult, I'm just going to start pulling random pieces from that pile and seeing if I can construct the map from memory. I should be able to do it. It might get a little hairy at times, but we'll see. There's a common stereotype that Americans don't know geography, and I have to say that stereotype is very true from, all the people that I've talked to, which is fine. But I'm going to see if I can remember my geography here of my own country and see if we can do this. Okay, so I'm just going to start pulling some pieces, and I might do some tapping and talking a little bit about what's on each, and then putting them down in front. So here we go. All right, first piece is Idaho. And I believe what it has there at the bottom is a mountain lion, which makes sense. There are some pretty high mountains in Idaho, and a lot of habitat for mountain lions as well. So Idaho, let's just start by putting it right here. Okay. Next we have, okay, that's actually really convenient, Washington. We have right here trees, obviously, which Washington is very well known for, as well as the tower in Seattle. So that actually goes right next to Idaho, so that's convenient. I'm going to put that right here. Okay. Louisiana. So this is far away from Idaho and Washington, and as you can see, you have the Louisiana River, what am I saying? Mississippi River that empties out to the Gulf of Mexico, and then you have two crawfish here. And I was notoriously afraid of trying crawfish for the first time, but I got dared to by a friend, and it was actually quite good. I really enjoyed it, and I actually still get crawfish to this day. So let's put that one, I'm going to put that here and see where we go from there. All right. Next one, Michigan. And as you can see, you have Lake Michigan coming up this side here. And then you also have Superior, which is up here. And I believe Huron, which is right there. And Michigan is well known in American history for the auto industry, which is why there's a picture of a car there. GM was in Michigan before it kind of tanked a bit. And, cities like Detroit are kind of going on some hard times right now because of the outsourcing of the automobiles. But we're going to put this right. I'm going to tentatively put it right there. I know that's probably not right, but let's stick it there for now. Next we have New Mexico. Now this is a state by the US-Mexico border. And as you can see here, we have a picture of a cactus, as well as some buttes and the classic Roadrunner, which you can find in the deserts of the American Southwest. So I'm going to stick that here, maybe. Yeah, I'll just put it there for now. Okay. Next up we have Indiana. And there's another picture of a car here. Indiana is well known for the Indy 500 and a lot of races that go down there. So that's why you see that there. Indiana is close to Michigan. I'm going to put that right here, and that will line up perfectly. Okay. Ohio. Now, Ohio, I have some friends that their parents are from Ohio. I also have a friend who's from Ohio as well. And there's a picture of the cardinal, which is, I believe, the state bird of Ohio. And yeah, so I believe that is going to go very close to Michigan, if I remember correctly. No, not quite there, but I'm just going to stick it there for now. Minnesota. Minnesota is known as the land of 10,000 lakes. And here's a picture of a moose. There's a lot of wilderness up in Minnesota. It's also very cold in the winter. So this one is going to go right here for now. I think that's generally correct. Let's see. Florida. Florida is one of the more well-known U.S. states, especially for people that aren't from here. You can see you have a palm tree coming out of Orlando, of all places. That's where that would be. And then you have a manatee, which are very well-known protected species in Florida that live in the mangroves. And when I went to Florida, I actually got the chance to see some manatees, and up close in person, they're really impressive. They're huge. But I'm going to stick that. That's in the southeast, so I'm going to stick that down here. Okay. I need a state that borders another state. There's a lot of empty space here. So we get exactly the opposite. Here's Hawaii. And Hawaii is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And as you can see, there's multiple islands on the Hawaiian island chain. And then you have volcanoes, which are what Hawaii are known for. Mauna Loa is a high volcano on the island, big island, and the whole island chain has been formed through volcanic eruptions. So I'm going to stick that let's just stick this in I'm going to move that to the side and just stick that in the way bottom corner. Okay. feels like a big one. Yep. Texas. I believe Texas is the biggest U.S. state outside of Alaska. And this will help a lot, actually. So as you can see, Texas has the cacti here. It's mostly desert, especially in the central and western parts. And you have a cowboy who's lassoing a bull. Okay. And that goes right next to Louisiana, which is nice. And I believe New Mexico will also go here, so let's slide that over. Okay. And as you can see with the map, the colors kind of blend into each other over time, which I think is pretty nice. Okay. Okay. So this is one of the pieces that I was talking about that have multiple states, which makes sense because getting a state the size of Delaware, getting a piece the size of Delaware for this map just doesn't make sense. So this is West Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. And my mom is actually from West Virginia. I used to go every year as a kid to visit my grandmother who lived in West Virginia. West Virginia is a big coal mining area. There's a lot of very poor areas in West Virginia as well, but the people there are very nice. And then Maryland as well. I have a friend who's from Maryland, and I've been to Baltimore before. Maryland's an interesting state. It's well known for their crabs that you can get there. And then Delaware. It's a very tiny state on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. And actually, if you go through Delaware, it, first of all, doesn't take very long. Second of all, it'll cost you a lot of money because the toll system there is so expensive. But I've never really stopped to see the sights in Delaware, so that might be somewhere I go at some point. So let's put that. West Virginia borders Ohio, so let's stick that right there. All right. And again, I'm probably going to have to rearrange this at some point. All right. Oklahoma. Oklahoma is, well, there's not a ton in Oklahoma, to be honest, outside of Oklahoma City. Feel like college football, it's a big place. And right, you can see here you have the armadillo, which is a funny creature that I'm a big fan of. So we're going to stick Oklahoma right north of Texas and put it right there. Next we have Kentucky. And Kentucky, as you can see, an entire piece of its border is made up of river. And Kentucky is well known for, obviously, the Kentucky Derby. It's a very famous horse race. And some of the best horses in the world for racing are bred in Kentucky. And also Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's one that everybody probably knows. Kentucky kind of goes around here-ish. I'm gonna probably have to correct that. But let's keep going. North Dakota. North Dakota borders Canada, and there's not a ton that goes on in North Dakota. Here you have a picture of a bald eagle, which obviously is one of the symbols of the United States as a whole. And you can find a good amount of bald eagles in North Dakota. So, North Dakota borders Minnesota. So I'm going to stick that right there. There we go. I'm also going to straighten this camera a little bit. Here we go. That's better. I'll move Hawaii over here. Okay. Next we have Missouri. And Missouri is well known for the city of St. Louis and borders the Mississippi River as well as the Missouri River. And this is a picture or an illustration of the arch that you can find in St. Louis. Okay. So let's just say that Missouri goes here. Yeah, okay, let's do that. All right. Wisconsin. Big city in Wisconsin is Milwaukee. Also, if you're a football fan, Green Bay is a huge football town. Very well known for their cheese in Wisconsin. If you haven't watched American football before, if you watch the Green Bay Packers games, one of the things that you'll see is fans that have slices of cheese on their head. They're known as cheese heads. That's how well known cheese is in the state. And here you have a picture of that with a mouse here. And Wisconsin goes right next to Minnesota, right here. And I can shift this all over to make that. And that'll work there. Again, I'm probably going to have to do this a few times. Okay. All right. Kansas. Kansas is in the Midwest of the United States. A lot of farming in Kansas. Just a lot of land with not a ton of people. There is a picture of an airplane here in Kansas. I'm going to be 100% honest here. I'm not 100% sure why there's an airplane here. But we're going to put this. I believe Kansas is above Oklahoma, maybe. I know it's next to Missouri. So that seems right. Oh, whoops. The one thing about this not being in the puzzle frame is you knock it and some of the pieces get jarred loose. Okay, let's do that. Colorado. Colorado, very well known for the Rocky Mountains, and you'll see all these mountains here. The Rocky Mountains are the highest mountain chain in North America. And here you have a picture of a mountain goat, and a bighorn sheep, one of the two, with the big horns that you'll see on there. Now, I've always mixed up Colorado and Wyoming. This part of the country gets a little funky because all the states are essentially just square shapes or rectangles. So I'm going to stick Colorado here, and it actually makes sense because there's a piece of the mountain that connects directly to New Mexico. So we'll stick him there. Oregon. This is one of my favorite pieces growing up because I just love the beaver chilling in the pond. That's a vibe. And then you have more forest around here. The west coast of the United States is very well known for their forests. So this is an easy one. This goes right under Washington and next to Idaho. And that's that. All right. Arkansas. Arkansas is the home of former U.S. President Bill Clinton. Another state that borders the Mississippi River, and something you can find in Arkansas and really most southern states along the Mississippi are these riverboats that are very well known for their paddling device at the back. So Arkansas, this is an easy one, goes right in between Missouri and Louisiana. And this part of the map is actually filling out quite nice right now. All right. Excuse me. Let's go Nebraska. So as you can see, Nebraska is another one of those Midwest states. And here we have two hot air balloons. And actually, if I were to put hot air balloons somewhere, I would put it in Arizona. Because there, and as well as New Mexico, Santa Fe has a really nice blimp tour, hot air balloon tour that you can take, where you can see the surrounding desert and the city, which I recommend. Nebraska goes right here. Okay. Wyoming. Wyoming is the least population-dense state in the United States. Well, in the continental United States. And it's well known for its nature. So you've got the Rocky Mountains right here. You've got what looks like a male deer here. You've got Old Faithful right here, which is a very well-known hot spring geyser at Yellowstone National Park. And then you have this mountain right here. Okay, in Wyoming. Okay, gosh, this is going to be... I always messed up where Wyoming went. I believe it goes here, if I remember correctly. That should be the case. And then I think we can move this down here. Which means we're going to have to move some portions of this down. And I just realized, no, Kentucky does not go there. Kentucky does go here, though. All right. Okay. Next we have Alabama. And this is in the southern United States, the deep south is what we call it. There's a picture of, I believe that's a possum, if I'm correct. Alabama is known for a lot of things. I didn't think a possum was one of them, but I've also never been to Alabama, so correct me if I'm wrong on that. Alright, so Alabama goes right by Florida. Right there. I'm going to shift this over a bit. I spread it out a little bit too far, I think, at the start. Okay. Alright. Virginia. Now, this is a state I am very familiar with. I've been to Virginia lots of times, and I've been to all different parts of Virginia. I've been to the state capital is Richmond, which is somewhere around here. You've also got Virginia Beach, which is down here somewhere. And Virginia was one of the original states settled by the English when they first colonized the United States back in the 1600s. And here's a picture of a great blue heron, and you will see these a lot when you go to Virginia. You actually see them up here in Massachusetts quite a bit as well. But if you go specifically near the James River in and around Richmond, you'll see these guys quite a bit. So Virginia is right under West Virginia, and even people in the United States will mistaken the fact that Virginia and West Virginia are not the same place. A lot of people will think there's just one big Virginia. Believe it or not, I've heard it more than once. And, but no, they are two separate states. Mississippi. Now, Mississippi is another state in deep south and right along the Mississippi River. So, Mississippi is one that a lot of students in grade school practice their spelling with. Mississippi. And here's a picture of a catfish, which you can find quite a bit in Mississippi, or really anywhere in the Mississippi River. Catfish, I would give a thumbs up. Good eats. I love catfish. Okay. Let's stick this right here, right next to Louisiana, which means we can shift Alabama over to right here. And Florida, it goes right there. So it's starting to come together a bit. Okay. Next we have Utah. And Utah is a state in the southwestern United States, and is known for its canyons and desert rock formations. I believe this is Arches National Park that they're trying to show here. There are a lot of national parks in Utah. Arches National Park, I believe, I can't remember if Bryce National Park is in Utah or Arizona, but there are a lot of, this is something you see quite a bit in Utah. So we're going to stick that right here. That's where Utah will go. Okay. Georgia. Now this is the elusive lynx, which you can also find in Europe, but you can find the North American version quite a bit in Georgia. Biggest city in Georgia is Atlanta, which is somewhere up here. And you might see some hills over here, and that's because you'll find the base of the Appalachian Mountains entering the northern part of Georgia, and that extends all throughout the East Coast, or the eastern coast states. So Georgia is right above Florida and next to Alabama. And he goes right here. Alaska. Alaska is the largest state in the United States. It borders Canada and touches no other U.S. state. It also has the largest amount of coastline in the United States of any state. It is not California, which is a common myth. And so this has a grizzly bear in a sitting position, surrounded by some mountains, and the highest mountain in North America is located in Alaska, Mount McKinley. So some beautiful national parks in Alaska as well that I would love to go to. We're going to stick Alaska way up there. New York, New York. New York is also another one of the most well-known U.S. states. As somebody from Massachusetts, we don't like the view from New York too much. We have quite a long rivalry statewide with New York with our sports teams, especially the Red Sox and the Yankees. But New York was a place where a lot of immigration took place on Ellis Island in the early 1900s. It's actually where my great-grandparents first came to the country when they immigrated from Italy in 1911. And here we go, the Statue of Liberty, which pretty much everybody recognizes. And of course, New York City is right down here, the biggest city in the United States. Capital is actually Albany, which is right here. So we're going to stick New York right here. Illinois. Illinois borders Lake Michigan. Chicago is one of the most prominent cities in the United States, located in the northeast portion of Illinois. And I had a friend in college who was from Chicago. So Illinois, we'll go right here. Also, if you visit Chicago in around St. Patrick's Day in March, what your city tradition is they will dye the entire the waterways that go through Chicago green in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. And I just realized we could probably shift Illinois and everything down here. There we go. Also, I'm pretty sure we can do this now as well. Okay. And then I'll put New York over here. So it's really coming together now. We have about 15 more pieces to go. Montana. Montana also borders Canada. There are some mountainous areas of Montana. It's known as the Big Sky State, Big Sky Country, whatever you want to call it. And here are a mama and a little bison, which Montana is known for. You can actually find bison all throughout the American, I don't want to say Midwest, but the kind of Rocky Mountain area, also in North Dakota and South Dakota. So Montana's an easy one. That goes right next to Idaho, which means I can slide North Dakota and all of this over. Okay. Iowa. Iowa, like much of the Midwestern United States, is known for its cornfields. And there's a lot of farming in Iowa. And one of the big cities in Iowa is Des Moines. And I actually had a friend who went to graduate school out in Iowa as well. Okay. Iowa goes right here. This is an easy one. California, another one of the very well-known U.S. states. California is big. Stretches all the way down from the north, which touches Oregon, and will go all the way down to the border with Mexico. And the northern part of California, well known for its really big trees. The redwood forest is on my bucket list of places I want to go. It is near the top. So if we could do that on this channel, that would be incredible. And then as you go further south, you kind of hit a more like surfer-like area and more drier climate as well. Here you have some palm trees as well as a seal. And California is famous for a lot of things. Too many to go into detail on this in this video, but LA is like somewhere around here, and I have some family that live in and around the LA area. So that will go right here. There we go. South Dakota. Now this is pretty easy because we already have North Dakota. It's actually the only state that's missing from this portion of the map. Here are some prairie dogs, which you will see a lot in the Great Plains areas, that make their homes in the ground, and they consistently pop out of the ground to both look for food and see if there's any predators around. Prairie dogs are really cool. I like prairie dogs. Alright. Right there. And that part of the map is pretty much done. We're missing just most of the East Coast at this point. North Carolina. Now I have a lot of family on my mother's side in North Carolina. Aunts, cousins, everybody. North Carolina has a couple of pretty decently sized cities. Raleigh, Charlotte. What am I talking about? Anyway. North Carolina is well known for being the first, where the first flight occurred of a airplane, which occurred in 1907. The Wright brothers, that was their claim to fame. And this is also a model of the plane that they flew, and you can actually find that on the U.S. quarter for the state of North Carolina as well. So North Carolina borders Virginia. I'm going to stick that right in here. Slide that right there. Perfect. All right. Aha. This is what I'm familiar with. This is where we're at right now. These are a lot of the states of New England. We're just missing Maine here. But we have Connecticut, Rhode Island, which is the smallest state in the United States, my home base of Massachusetts, my home state, New Hampshire, and Vermont. And obviously, you know, I've spent most of my life in this area of the country. Massachusetts is probably is the most populous state of these 5 states. Just bump the camera. And Boston is right There's also a big city in Connecticut called Hartford, which is right in the middle, and Rhode Island has a pretty big city in Providence, which is right over there. And the picture for this one is a covered bridge. These are something you see quite frequently if you travel to Vermont and New Hampshire. Very unique style of architecture that is unique to this area of the country. And when actually people are going to explore these areas in the fall, with all the leaves changing around these types of areas, it's very, it's like quintessential New England. So I know where this goes. We're right next to New York. So we'll stick that right there. And I can already tell I'm going to have to move New York over to here. Like that. Alright. Nevada. So there's a lot of empty space in Nevada as well. Obviously Las Vegas is a huge city, and one of my aunts lives in Las Vegas currently. And here we have, I can't tell if that's gold or a bunch of rocks. I'm just going to say it's a bunch of rocks next to the mountains. But I wouldn't doubt it being gold either. More cacti and a rattlesnake, which you will find these all throughout the American Southwest. And that goes right here. Whew. Thought that was going to make a loud noise for a second. Alright. We've got 5 states left. That's it. Tennessee. Tennessee is where my grandmother is from on my mother's side. And it's well known for the city of Memphis, which is right here. And it's also well known for the mountains in the corner. It's part of the Great Smoky Mountains that are a sub-range of the Appalachians. And I think it's pretty obvious where this one goes. It's right here. Alright. Oh, jeez. Here is the state of Maine. Now, I have not been to Maine in about 5 years, but it is a beautiful state. I've mostly been up the coast. Also, when I was touring colleges, I looked at the University of Maine, which is right smack in the middle, and there are nothing but trees there, I can tell you that. You literally, if you decide to drive through the center of Maine, you will just see a line of trees for 3 hours straight driving. And it's really, it's really kind of, there's not a lot there. But Maine is a beautiful state. Especially the coastline, like around Portland, and the coastline morphs from sandy beaches at the bottom to rocky beaches towards the top. And one of the most prominent national parks on the East Coast is Acadia, which is right over here. So Maine, oh, also lighthouses, which you can find all over the rocky beaches in Maine. And that goes right here. Funny story is Maine used to be part of Massachusetts during the colonial period, but has since become its own state. South Carolina. Well known for the beaches in South Carolina. As well, it was the first place to secede from the Union during the outbreak of the Civil War in the 1800s. And Myrtle Beach is one very well-known beach here, and very well known for its sea turtles, where you can see sometimes laying its eggs on the beach. Alright, and South Carolina will go right here. Boom. 2 more. So we've got Arizona. One of my friends is from Arizona that I met at my last job, and she didn't have fantastic things to say about it, but it's a beautiful state. I mean, the Grand Canyon is here, and which you can kind of see generally right through there. You've got a big saguaro cactus, the biggest species of cactus in North America, as well as a Gila monster, which are a really interesting type of reptile that you will find in the deserts of Arizona. And we'll stick that right there. And so we just got one more state, which is right here. If you can guess what that is. Actually, we got 2 more states. I forgot these were together. Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Now, I refer to New Jersey as the toilet bowl of America. I probably shouldn't be saying that, but New Jersey is a state that I personally am not a huge fan of. But they do have nice beaches. Atlantic City is also nice. You can also see New York City from cities like Hoboken and Harrison. Also, Newark is right through there as well. And Pennsylvania, I've seen pretty much all of Pennsylvania at this point. Got mountains kind of up in the northeast corner. You've got kind of, as you go further down, you actually have quite a few cornfields. And Pennsylvania has 2 major cities, being Pittsburgh, which is along this western edge, and then Philadelphia, which is down here. Also, you could make a case for Harrisburg, which is right over here, and Scranton, which is right there. But anyway, there appears to be I can't tell if that's a beaver, a woodchuck, whatever that is, because, yeah, I think it's a beaver, to be honest. And the one in Oregon, actually, I will correct myself on, that is not a beaver. That looks like an otter. So, that will go right here. And we'll slide New York over accordingly. And there are the 50 states. You've got the whole 48 right here. You got Hawaii down here. And you've got Alaska up there. So, eventually we did it. We remember our 50 states, which is great. And if you ever come to the US, you'll know that a lot of these regions are very, distinct in terms of their culture. Each state has a lot of their own culture and kind of tendencies, both politically and culturally. And coming to the United States is always an experience. Obviously, it's the country I live in, so I recommend people to come here, but you get a little bit of something different in each state, which is awesome. And like you do in a lot of different countries as well. It's not just unique to the US. But if you've never been to the US before, highly recommend coming. It's a great country. So, I'm not sponsored by the US Tourism Board. That's just my opinion. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next video, I think we'll be back outside if the weather clears up. And yeah, I hope you guys are doing well again, as always, and I hope this was relaxing for you. Alright, take care.